The first thing the old woman noticed was the smell. Not from the room, but from the clothes. The wrapper the young girl carried in a black nylon bag smelled like burnt engine oil mixed with something rotten. The old woman froze immediately. Her hand started shaking before she even touched the fabric. "Who gave you these clothes?" she asked quietly. The girl pointed at the woman standing outside the shop. "That's my auntie." The old woman's face changed at once. She quickly dropped the wrapper like it burnt her skin. "Take them away from here," she whispered, "and pray nobody in your house has worn them already." The girl frowned in confusion, but the old woman was already looking at the tailoring shop, because 3 years earlier, another woman had bought exactly that same cloth with that smell, and before the next day, 4 people in her family were dead. In a small town outside Lagos, everybody knew Mama Bisi. She was one of the women who had seen too much in her life. She repaired torn clothes, sewed wrappers, and quietly helped people in the community. Some people called her spiritual, others said she was just old and dramatic, but nobody ignored her warnings, especially when it comes to clothes. In that town, giving out old clothes were normal. If your children outgrew skirts, you passed them to another family. If your husband died, neighbors collected his clothes. During Christmas or Ramadan, people donated bags of old things to villages and churches. People believed it was kindness, and most times it was, but sometimes it was not. The girl standing before Mama Bisi that afternoon was named Amara. She was 17 years old and lived with her widowed mother and her 2 younger brothers. Life has not been easy for them since their father died in road accident 2 years earlier. Her mother sold roasted corn by the roadside. Some days they ate twice, some days they did not. So when her mother's rich cousin from the city visited them with 2 big bags of expensive clothes, everybody rejoiced. Designer gowns, jeans, shoes, even gold earrings. The woman smiled too much while giving them out. "You people are like family," she kept saying. "What is the point of wealth if I cannot help my own people?" Amara's mother nearly cried from happiness. That night, they washed some of the clothes and spread them outside, but one wrapper refused to leave a strange smell. Burnt oil, rotten meat, and something else Amara could not explain. Her little brother even joked about it. "This clothes smells like somebody buried underground." Everybody laughed, except their mother. For a second, her face tightened strangely. She quietly ignored it. 2 days later, problems started. Small problems at first. Amara's younger brother woke up screaming from sleep. He claimed somebody was standing beside the window at night, a tall woman wearing the same wrapper from the bag. His mother slapped him lightly. "Stop watching Scary Movie." But the boy refused to sleep alone again. The next day, Amara noticed her mother talking to herself while cooking. Not fully talking, more like whispering. When Amara asked who she was speaking to, her mother looked confused. "I was not speaking to anybody." But later that night, Amara heard whispers again from her mother's room. Very late, around 2 a.m. At first, she thought her mother was praying, until she heard another voice reply, a deep voice, like a man speaking through waters. Amara froze on her mat. Her brothers were already asleep beside her. The voice continued for almost 10 minutes, then silence. The next morning, her mother acted normal. She even wore one of the expensive gowns from the bag and went to the market smiling. But when she returned that evening, she looked exhausted, and she carried another black nylon bag. When Amara questioned her about the bag, she could not remember who gave her the bag. That answer alone chilled Amara. 3 days later, Mama Bisi came to their compound. The moment she entered, she stopped walking. Her eyes moved slowly towards the wrapper hanging outside, the one with the strange smell. "Oh God," she whispered. Amara's mother smiled and welcomed her. "Who brought these clothes here?" Madam Bisi questioned. The smile disappeared immediately from Amara's mother's face. Mama Bisi walked towards the clothes and touched it carefully. Then she turned to the mother. "Did the woman recently lose somebody?" Amara's mother hesitated for once. "My cousin's husband died last year." Mama Bisi closed her eyes. "What happened after the death?" she asked them. Nobody answered, because everybody knew the truth already. The cousin had become a very rich woman suddenly after her husband died. New cars, new house, and trips abroad. People talked quietly about it, but nobody had proof of anything. Mama Bisi stepped aside from the clothes. She commanded them to burn it. Amara's mother laughed nervously. Mama Bisi, these are expensive clothes. Why should I burn it? The old woman looked directly at her. Because some people do not give out clothes to help you. Sometimes they give them out to move something from their life into yours. Everybody kept quiet. They were all scared. That night, nobody slept well. Amara kept thinking about Mama Bisi's warning. Her mother became angry later and called the old woman wicked. Around midnight, Amara woke up to use the bathroom. As she passed their mother's room, she heard whispering again, the deep voice. Only this time, her mother sounded frightened. No, I did what you asked. Amara could not hear the voice clearly. Then suddenly, bang, something hit the wall hard. Amara nearly screamed. She ran back to the mat immediately and covered herself with the wrapper. A few minutes later, footsteps slowly crossed the passage. Amara shut her eyes tightly until morning. At sunrise, her mother was nowhere to be found. The front door stood open. The stranger wrapper was missing too. Panic spread immediately. Neighbors joined the search. By afternoon, they found her mother near an abandoned riverside behind the town, barefoot, dirty, and sitting alone beside the water. She was laughing softly to herself. When Amara touched her shoulder, the woman turned slowly. Her eyes looked empty, like she had not slept well for weeks. Then she asked a strange question. Where is the man that followed me here? Nobody saw any man. Things became worse after that day. One evening, Amara returned from fetching water and found her mother washing the strange wrapper repeatedly inside dirty black water. But the wrapper remained perfectly clean. Mama, she called out. The woman slowly looked up, then smiled strangely. He said, I must keep it safe. The next morning, Mama Bisi returned. This time, she came with another elderly man from a nearby village. The man examined the wrapper and carefully, without touching it. Then he asked one question. Did the person who gave this wrapper suffer repeated sickness or bad luck before becoming rich? Amara nodded slowly. People used to say her mother's cousin lost many business many times before becoming wealthy. The old man sighed deeply. Then he replied, in some places, people secretly use personal belongings during dark rituals. Clothes, shoes, hair, and pictures. Sometimes these items are later passed to another person, not because they are generous, but because they want to transfer terrible problems away from themselves. Problems like sickness, death, madness, and bad luck. The old man did not say anything. He did not say it like a movie. He spoke calmly, like somebody discussing about rain. And somehow that made it even scarier. Amara's mother refused to burn the clothes, completely refused. The moment anybody mentioned it, she became violent. One minute she would cry, the next moment she would scream. At one point, she even slapped Amara hard across the face. She wants my enemies to win, right? She shouted. That was when everybody knew something was seriously wrong. Because her mother had never hit her before, not even once. 3 nights later, the worst thing happened. Amara woke up around 11 a.m. because her younger brother was crying. Amara heard movement inside the room, heavy movement, like furniture dragging across the floor. Then came her mother's voice, laughing, and it did not sound like her own laughter anymore. Amara gathered courage and pushed the door slightly open. What she saw stayed in her mind forever. Her mother sat on the floor wearing the strange wrapper, facing the wall, talking to it, but another shadow sat directly opposite her. A tall shadow, too tall to belong to any normal person. Amara could not see the face clearly, only long fingers moving slowly. Then her mother suddenly pointed towards the door, towards Amara. The shadow turned. At that exact moment, all the kerosene lamp in the room went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Amara screamed. Neighbors rushed into the compound immediately. But by the time they entered the room, her mother had collapsed unconscious on the floor, and the wrapper was gone again. The next day, Mama Bisi finally lost patience. She gathered some elders and forced the room open while Amara's mother slept. They searched everywhere. They found the wrapper buried beneath bags of rice in the kitchen. The smell was now unbearable. Even the elders covered their nose. The elders poured fuel on it. Then they lit a match. The wrapper burned too quickly. The flame rose high instantly with thick black smoke. And right there in the middle of the fire, somebody screamed. Not a normal scream. A deep, painful scream that sounded both human and strange. Women started crying. Children ran away. Even the men stepped back in fear. Then suddenly silence. The fire died completely. And the smell vanished just like that. And my mother slept for almost 16 hours after the burning. When she finally woke up, she looked weak and confused. The first thing she asked was, why am I outside? She remembered almost nothing. only bad dreams. Dreams of a tall man standing beside river and calling her name. After some days, her health slowly improved. The whispers stopped. The strange movement stopped. Peace finally returned to the compound. But the story did not end there. Because 2 months later, news came from the city. The rich cousin who donated the clothes had suddenly become seriously ill. Nobody could explain her sickness. She reportedly screamed every night about a man standing beside her bed, exactly the same way Amara's mother once did. Then one morning, she disappeared from her house completely. So today, nobody knew where she went. Some say she ran mad. Some say she joined a spiritual group somewhere. Others believe something finally came back to her. Mama Bisi only shook her head after hearing the news. What people send away sometimes find the road back home. Years later, Amara never forgot those incidents. Even as an adult, she became very careful about things people give freely, especially clothes. Not because every gift is evil, but because not every smiling face has good intention. In many African communities, old stories exist for a reason. Some are exaggerated, some are fair, but some are warnings passed quietly from one generation to another. Warning written in pain, because evil does not always arrive looking dangerous. Sometimes it arrives folded neatly inside a black nylon bag with a smile and words like, "I just wanted to help." So the moral lesson of the story is that not every gift comes with good intention. Be careful about what you collect from people, especially from those who live or behave very suspicious. Parents should pay attention when elders give warning. Sometimes experience sees dangers before younger people notice it. Kindness is good, but wisdom is also important. Do not let desperation blind you completely. Some traditional warnings and old African belief exist because the real people experienced terrible things in the past. Always pray, stay careful, and protect your home practically, mentally, and spiritually. So guys, this is the end of the story, and thank you so much for watching. If you have heard or seen something similar to this, please share in the comment section. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn your notification for more exciting story. I promise to give back-to-back stories. Thank you so much for watching. I am really grateful, and thank you once again. I love you so much. See you next time. Bye. Mwah.